This chart is unbelievable, and it shows Bitcoin has just begun to rise. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. My name is Da Vinci Jeremy. I'm in the pipe 5x5 here in Dubai. Hope you're doing well wherever you are in this world. I'm actually doing this show live in front of people who are interested in watching this show live. Right here, if you head over to levex.davincij15.com, you sign up and you could actually watch this live and ask me questions and all that kind of good stuff. And I enjoy that. And yeah, so if you're interested in doing that, just head over to levex.davincij15.com. Links in the description below. Wow. You know what? I have an interesting show for you guys. I was watching in this morning Mark Moss's video. And, I have to give a shout out, links in the description below, right? This video, right, he just dropped, right, shows you this indicator called the MVRV Z-score. Horrible name, but whatever. He goes on to explain it. So I would suggest you go over and watch his video and how he explains how it works. But basically, let's just say if it gets closer to this red area, we're basically overbought. And so the market's very overheated. And so that is the time that you want to sell or start thinking about selling your Bitcoin as we get closer to the top of that zone. And so this is a chart to watch. Look at that chart. Do we look close to that zone? Did we get even close to that zone with the last Bitcoin top? No. In fact, you can see we didn't even like top out, get as high, break out from this zone right here, right there. Let's just take a look on the actual chart. Right, this one looks a little bit different, but you can see at this point here, this height, right, was not as high. It's higher than this height. This point right here. So, with that said, we can see that it has some room. We have some room to run a lot higher, right, before chart. Okay, you guys can't see that. Let me just zoom in, move that out of the way, and you can see that, hey, we've got more room to go. And so you can see that you could actually start buying once we're in the green zone. That'd be like you're just, okay, dollar cost average, buy. Okay, it goes down, buy. Okay, it goes down, buy. Okay, it goes down, buy. In that area. So the green zone gives you like the indication that you are a buyer of Bitcoin, and the red zone is the indication of, hey, you know what, you are a seller. Now, it doesn't matter. You could actually be a buyer all the way up into the red zone. So that would be the smart thing to do. All right, let's take a look at our trade. This trade still holding steady. We could have, we could have put bigger buys at the lower valuation. Probably what we should have done, but hey, we're still in it, right? We can actually get some more. We got lots of cash, and we can move our leverage to 2 to 1 to 3 to 1 to give us even more cash, right? To actually buy. So it's not the end of the world. We'll just wait for price action to drop low enough to do that. So right now, we're just gonna, we're gonna put a buy order, right? Let me just show you guys at that last low wick right here, which is right there at 78.5. And we're going to buy some more Bitcoin at that price. Oops, wrong keyboard. Let me just bring it out here. And there we go. 78.495 approximately. And what we're going to do is let me just move this out of the way here so you guys can see that. Oops. There we go. And we're going to buy, let's see here, a larger amount, 25% of what's left. Let's go to 40%. Boom. Boom. Long. Confirm. And so if price action drops and tries to close that gap, speaking of gap, let me just show you guys that CME gap. right? I believe it is here, right here. You can see that there's still a gap here. If we come down to the 200 daily moving average to close the final gap. Once we close that, hey, I'm interested in buying it at anything. If 73K gets down to 73K, I'm interested in buying it because I'm going to hold this trade all the way up to approximately 150. And that's probably when I'm going to take profits on this trade. I'm going to actually probably reduce the leverage, increase the leverage in time, right? Because right now we have a 2-to-1 leverage here. And so that we don't get liquidated. And then we could just start increasing the leverage, start buying more as the price pulls back. We buy all the way up to 150 so that we can actually, increase our value on how much we can make from this particular trade, which is a long-term trade for the big win in Bitcoin, which will come, right? It's just, it's just a matter of time, right? So with that said, let's go and do some look at some short-term trades, not long-term trades, right? Because there's a difference between a short-term trade and a long-term trade. Short-term trade, right? You're going to just come in and out. And so in a short-term trade, you can see, okay, perfect. That's perfect Fibonacci level, right? From the big top. And then we failed all the way there. And this is the 38.2 from the failure. Okay, I got it. Okay. So not quite exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, okay, so there we go. We're at 61.8. We're probably going to have to go back up to the 61.8. So I'm going to just delete this fib. So 61.8 didn't quite hit. Looks like that might be the target before we reverse, maybe even the 78.6. But you could actually put a trade in any of these locations, even the resistance, stop lossing it, of course, at 95K, 99, almost 96, really. So that would be your trade down to short this thing. If you believe that, I think there's a good chance that we could close the gap. So if we're going to close the gap, the best trade is right here. We enter in approximately, let's just go 90K. Let's just see here. And this is a long trade, so, but you can always reduce your stop losses, even though, Trump might try to screw you. And you can just go to a 3-to-1, really. And just go, let's see here. What is the risk to reward ratio? Oh, it's a 2-to-1. Let's go to 2-to-1. And then you could actually move your stop to break to halfway, and probably chances are you're golden. You can go all the way down to at least the 77K, and you can just move your stops as it goes down, because it could go as further as 73. And I would definitely take profits at the 73K for any kind of short, right? But always just move your stops along the way, because you don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing trade. So with that said, what's going to happen to Solana and all those things? Well, you can see if we go to a 4-hour, there's a little bit of a rolling over. We've pumped back up. Trump dumped us, and then we're going to roll over. It looks like we want to roll over and head back down to retest the lows that we've already tested, which is the 20, almost $130. Retest the lows before we actually start to move higher. That I wouldn't count this as a W, so we can expect this rollover and then go higher. But we haven't broken above the 13 EMA after this downtrend, so chances are we'll probably just break on the 4-hour before we actually go further down. But the odds are, with Bitcoin looking to close the gap, the odds are the price action is floating in a downward spiral. So with that said, that's not going to probably happen until this, the 4-hour is probably so far. Bollinger Bands are closed, because right now it needs to consolidate after this huge downtrend, right? There has to be some sort of consolidation before we actually do any kind of thing. So this gives you an opportunity to trade the movements up and down, because we're not going to break down. We're not going to break out in the next little while with the bands so wide. And the same thing happens with Ethereum, right? With the band so wide, we can pretty much guarantee that this is going to be a little bit of a sideways action. Good thing that we're back above the upward moving trend line. it was looking really bad for Ethereum for a while. So yeah, Ethereum could actually reverse here and, do something. Like, come on, do something. Ethereum, wake up, man, do something. Oh boy. You can see that 13 MA is being held as resistance, and there's a 61.8. Basically, we have to consolidate here and wait and see for Ethereum. Now, we can do some short-term trades. The Ethereum most likely is going to pump here a little bit before we actually break down. I don't have a trade for you guys right now because I don't see anything. Maybe on the 15-minute, we could probably see something. You could say this is a flag, but yeah, it's not defined enough for me. So I'm going to put my hands in my pocket and let the market decide. When I'm looking at it, hey, I can make a trade, right? And that's the better way to do it. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thank you for coming out and watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episodes, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.